Would you call the roll, please?
Hal Glanville.
Here.
J.R. Huddleston.
Here.
Deborah Johnston.
Here.
Bill Luken.
Here.
Larry Pratt.
Here.
Gary Telkamp.
Here.
Travis Orbach. Linda Varvel.
Here.
Thank you. Would you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our usual reminder, Council, if you have a conflict of interest, please let the rest of the Council know before you vote. Can I get a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
Make a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from the May 19th council meeting?
I make a motion to approve the minutes from the May 19th council meeting.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Can I get a motion to approve the bills in between?
I'll make a motion to approve the bills in between for $143,495.68.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Can I get a motion to approve the current claims?
I make a motion to approve the current claims of $52,922.03.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Can I get a motion to approve the Wells Fargo credit card claims?
Make a motion to approve Wells Fargo credit card claims for $14,524.70.
Second.
Chair. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. On to communications from the public. Is there anyone that would like to address the council tonight? Come on down.
Hi, my name is Randy Graham, and I'm the president of the board of directors for the Hot Springs Amateur Radio Club. And we would like to invite all of you to the annual Field Day event, as long as it's going to be okay with Larry Pratt, at Butler Park. We're having the ARRL yearly annual Field Day event where we'll be making HF contacts all around the world. So we'd like to invite all of you to show up there. We're going to have the emergency management trailer there, HF radios set up there. We're also going to be at the Main Street Arts and Crafts Festival. We're going to have a canopy tent set up there. We'll have 2-meter radios in connection with the Butler Park radios, and I'd like you to stop by there also.
Did you give us the date and time of the event?
Pardon me?
Did you give us the date and time? I might have missed it.
No, I didn't. It's going to be Saturday, June 28th at Butler Park, and we'll be at the Main Street Arts and Crafts Festival the 27th, 28th, and 29th. But the time will be from 12 to, I think, 10.
Did you say AWARL?
ARRL,
ARRL? Thank you.
Amateur Radio Relay League.
Thank you.
Randy, you said 12 to 10,
Yeah, yes,
noon to 10 p.m.?
yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Randy, just to let you know, over here, when you had asked to come to the meeting, you never showed up, so we didn't discuss it. So in the future, if you want to do something, come to the meeting because we put you on the docket. And for your information, it's not up to me. I only chair the meeting. It would be up to the committee itself, and then we would put a report in, bring it before the council, and it would go that direction. So just let you know, okay?
I apologize for that. I thought I should text you and ask you, and I just got busy.
We politely waited.
Thank you.
No worries, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Randy.
You had over there?
I'll wait till I'm on the docket here for 7:20.
Okay.
Want me to wait till that time?
Yes. Anyone else? All right, we'll move on to our proclamations. The first proclamation is for the Amateur Radio Week in the Town of Hot Springs, June 23rd through June 29th, 2005. Office of the Mayor, Hot Springs, South Dakota Proclamation, Amateur Radio Week 2025. Whereas Fall River County is home to over 120 licensed amateur radio operators, including more than 100 right here in Hot Springs, who consistently demonstrate their value to the community by providing critical emergency communications during natural disasters and other emergencies. And whereas these amateur radio operators generously maintain and operate privately owned communications infrastructure for the benefit and safety of Fall River County residents, and whereas they remain vigilant, monitoring amateur radio frequencies and preparing to respond to emergencies on both a local and global scale, and whereas these dedicated individuals regularly train and enhance their communication skills, particularly through participation in the Amateur Radio Relay League's AARL Annual Field Day exercises, and whereas the 2025 ARRL Field Day event will be held June 28th through 29th, demonstrating the enduring importance and capabilities of amateur radio. Now therefore, I, Robert Nelson, Mayor of Hot Springs, do hereby proclaim the week of June 23rd through June 29th, 2025 as Radio Amateur Week in the city of Hot Springs in recognition of the dedication and service of our local amateur radio operators. I encourage all citizens to honor and celebrate these selfless ambassadors of communication and public safety. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the city of Hot Springs to be affixed this second day of June, 2025.
All you folks.
Thanks, sir.
Spotlight came on.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
These lights were bright.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Gentlemen,
You're welcome to
We
stay
will.
for the rest of
Randy.
our meeting, too.
gentlemen, we've got another proclamation. If you served in the military or army, this is for us. We're doing another proclamation here, and it's for Army veterans, the celebration of the Army. If you'd like to stay and be a part of that.
I'm taking a pause here. We're almost at our 7:10 public hearing. All right, it's 7:10. I'd like to open a public hearing to act on the license applications from the Hot Springs Rotary Club for special sale alcoholic beverage licenses for the Chamber of Commerce 2025 Concert Series events on June 7th and 21st, July 19th, and the 4th of July dance event on July 3rd, 2025 at Centennial Park, 275 North Garden Street. Is there anyone from the public that would like to speak to this? Council, any comments? Well, let's go ahead and close the public hearing at 7:10, 7:11, I'm sorry. Then I need a motion to either approve, deny, or postpone.
I'll make a motion to approve the license applications from the Hot Springs Rotary Club for special sales alcohol beverage licenses for the Chamber of Commerce 2025 Concert Series events on June 7th, 21st, July 19th, 2025, and the 4th of July dance event on July 3rd, 2025 at Centennial Park, 275 North Garden Street.
Second.
Hal, is that you?
No, it's either Larry or
Larry?
Bill.
Bill.
They pointed at each
Bill?
other.
Oh, okay, I'll
Bill?
take it.
Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion passes. We have another public hearing at 7:20, so we'll go back up to our proclamations. We'll read our second proclamation of the evening. Office of the Mayor, Hot Springs, South Dakota, proclamation celebrating the 250th birthday of the United States Army. Whereas on June 14th, 1775, the Second Continental Congress established the United States Army, marking the birth of America's military and the beginning of its fight for freedom and independence. And whereas for nearly 250 years, the Army has stood as a guardian of liberty, providing security to our nation, maintaining readiness and lethality, and promoting peace worldwide. And whereas the courage, dedication, and sacrifice of Army soldiers, veterans, and their families have ensured the safety and prosperity of our nation and the freedoms we cherish. And whereas the United States Army remains steadfast in its mission to serve and defend, building strong ties with local communities and fostering partnerships that strengthen the fabric of our great nation. And whereas the City of Hot Springs, South Dakota recognizes the Army's pivotal role in shaping our nation's history, security, and freedom. Now therefore, I, by virtue of the authority vested in me as Mayor of the City of Hot Springs, do hereby proclaim June 14th, 2025 as United States Army Day in Hot Springs, South Dakota, and urge all our citizens to observe this day with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused to be affixed the Great Seal of the City of Hot Springs, South Dakota, the 2nd day of June in the year of our Lord 2025. So if you gentlemen served, thank you for your service.
Ask them to stand if they served.
If you've served, would you please stand? Let the audience recognize you. We're still 5 minutes away from our next public hearing, so let's move on to personnel actions. Can I get a motion to approve personnel actions A through J?
Make a motion to approve personnel actions items A through J.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Misty, we have to wait on our ordinances until we have the public hearings on them?
Yes,
All
sir.
right. So we'll move on to our only resolution of the evening. Can I get a motion to approve Resolution 2025-13?
Make a motion to approve Resolution 2025-13, a resolution to establish a priority list of longstanding event holders for the use of city parks.
Second.
Linda. Discussion? So this is something new for the city. We had a situation develop early in the year where we had some conflicting organizations that wanted the same times to reserve Centennial Park for the same dates. We recognize that one organization in particular has been putting on their event for 48 consecutive years. We needed to recognize that and figure out a way that we could continue that tradition. So Jacqueline has worked with a number of the organizations to identify who uses the park continuously and how many years they've been doing it. And we're asking you folks to approve this longstanding event holders list, so these organizations can be assured that the dates they're used to providing their events on will be available to them in years to come. So that's what's behind this. Any questions?
If I can just add one thing, I think it's my understanding that it's not just so that it's handy for them, that a number of these organizations have vendors that plan their entire year based on events that they go to in various locations. So it really enables them to ensure that they have successful events so that their vendors and participants can indeed plan to come to Hot Springs and let Hot Springs reap those benefits. So it's not just handy, it serves them and us an economic and event success. Helps everybody be successful. It's not just handy.
Well said. Thank you. Anyone else? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. We'll go down to our new business. Can I get a motion to approve new business item A? Set a special meeting on Monday, June 19th at 9 a.m.
9th.
June 9th.
I make a motion to set a special meeting on Monday, June 9th at 9 a.m. at the Mueller Civic Center to canvass 2025 municipal election and declare results by resolution.
Second.
Discussion?
I hope that date works for everyone. I threw it out there at the last meeting. I didn't hear any feedback, so scheduled it. I know some of you are, so hope it works.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Let's see if we can squeeze in one more new business item. Can I get a motion to approve new business item B? Approve and authorize the mayor to sign the agreement between owner and contractor.
Make a motion to approve and authorize the mayor to sign an agreement between owner and contractor with Ephraimson Electric Incorporated in the amount of $387,145.44 to construct an automated weather observing system, AWOS-3, including award of Division 1 and add alternate 1, FAA and state grant funding anticipated to reimburse the city for 97.5% cost, still awaiting FAA grant award. When awarded, city share will be $9,678.64.
Second.
Discussion?
720.
Will this give information to like KOTA News so that we'll be on the map more on the 5 o'clock news? that type of deal?
Yes, this will be an approved certified weather report or weather observation system that they will have access to. What they do with that availability is beyond our
Control.
realm, but yes, they'll have access to it, and it's certified and all that, so yeah.
They won't have a satellite source here in town, though, because our weather varies greatly between
Right.
here and there. It's a lot different here in town.
Anyone else? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion passes. So we'll go back to our 7:20 public hearing. I'd like to open the meeting at 7:21 to act on the application for a use permitted on review by Lisa Cruz for an accessory apartment at 706 Jennings Avenue.
I make a motion? Joe?
No bids up.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, I was on it.
Lisa, you're up.
I think that the request and the application kind of speaks for itself as far as what I'm wanting. But I am just wanting to note and wanting to make sure that everybody's aware that this is an apartment that was permitted by the city to be built. It was there when we bought the building. It was part of our decision to purchase the building. And it's in its present state. We haven't changed anything to the apartment. It's just like it was when we purchased the building. And I know the previous owner had to get a permit of use also. So I just wanted that noted, that it was not something that we added to the business or added to the building. It was something that was already there when we purchased the building 4 years ago.
Yeah, and I think what you've bumped up against is that the uses permitted on review go with the individual.
Right,
Not-
that came up nowhere at the time of purchase. We've been in the building for 4 years. It was not something that we were aware of. I have questions about the whole process, but I don't think this is the time or the place to bring that up. But I just wanted it noted that it was something that we didn't put the apartment in. It was there at the time of purchase, and it was a big part of our decision to purchase the property.
Yeah, and your notice of the hearing makes it very clear that that's what you understood. I just wanted to point out that the reason you're going through it is it's a new owner, so there needs to be a new use on review permit.
Right.
Just
I understand that. I mean, I
a process.
understand that that's how it is, but yeah, I won't go into how I feel about it.
All right. So,
I did have a question
Yes.
about emergency access to the apartment. Is this apartment on the same level as your showroom floor?
It is.
Oh, okay.
It has a backdoor access. The previous owner that put the apartment in, she went through the city and got all the necessary permits to build the apartment.
Okay.
So she had to put an egress window in. So yeah, it's all, as far as I'm aware, it's all up to code. There's a back door to the building.
So there's just one entrance exit to the apartment?
Well, they
there's
can come through the
From
front.
the inside the sales floor, there's an entrance into it,
Okay.
and then there's an exit. There's 2 doors in and out of the apartment.
Okay, that, for emergency personnel or whatever, that's what I was
Right, and
wondering.
she went through all the all the building codes and everything in order to, she had to put firewall up, the necessary firewall up and everything, and it was permitted through the city.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
I have a question also. Your alley in the back that goes to the back of your building, is there, in case there's an ambulance or a fire truck has to get back there, is there a place where they can turn around and leave?
Well, there's nowhere, really anywhere back there that you can actually do a full turnaround.
Right.
But we park and, we park and then we back out. We're at the dead end of that alley. So we use that for our parking. But yeah, you would have to just back out. That's how we do it.
Okay.
But there's nowhere back there that, maybe down way at the end by, see, the propane company, you might be able to but probably not an ambulance or anything could do a full
Right.
turnaround in there anywhere.
Okay. Just a question.
Yeah.
I'd like to make a note that there is another apartment in the building next door, but it's upstairs. So
Right, this
there
is
are apartments along the,
Permit
in,
of use does not pertain to anybody that has apartments upstairs.
yeah, I was kind of wondering why you had to have one and they didn't.
Thank you.
Just,
It's because of a change in ownership. So to Lisa's point, the previous owner has been through this process and met all of the requirements as far as the safety of the building, those kinds of things, to have the use on review permit approved by the council then. So my understanding is nothing's changed other than the ownership, and that's why you're here.
Right, but it's my understanding that if we wanted to, we could expand that to 25% of our floor space.
You mean by removing the apartment?
No, by expanding that apartment
Expanding.
space and making it, right
By
now
ordinance,
it's
it
only
can't
using
exceed.
probably 10% of the floor space. That's down the road, we don't plan on doing that today or tomorrow, but that was my understanding, was that we could use 25%. That's what the ordinance states.
Okay.
Okay.
I spent some time with Lisa this afternoon because I tried looking at everything from outside yesterday, but there's too many leaves on the tree and I couldn't look down from the museum and see, and I did access it from the alley, and I appreciate the time you spent with me, and
I appreciate you coming by.
was able to see the second exit. So everything that our ordinance calls for, I saw present, so it certainly satisfied my curiosity. So thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Lisa?
Yeah, I have just one last question, Lisa. Will this give Paisley something to do all summer? That's all I got.
All right. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
Is there anyone from the public that would like to speak to this? All right, let's go ahead and close the hearing at 7:28. And then I need a motion to either approve, deny, or postpone.
I make a motion to approve the application for a use permitted on review by Lisa Cruz for an accessory apartment at 706 Jennings Avenue.
second,
Discussion? Larry?
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're a couple minutes away from our next public hearing. Let's go ahead and pick off another new business item. Going to get a motion to approve new business item C, approve and authorize the mayor to sign the safety plan compliance document.
Make a motion to approve and authorize the mayor to sign the safety plan compliance document and notice to proceed associated with the AWAS 3 construction project.
Second.
JR. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. All right, it's 7:30, so I'd like to open up our last public hearing. It's a public hearing to consider proposed ordinance revisions to Title 15 Land Usage, Chapter 154, Subdivisions 154.02, 154.03, 154.04, and 154.05, and Chapter 155 Zoning Code, 155.002, 155.003, 155.004, 155.032, and 155.051.
I would note that we removed section 155.032 from the time that we scheduled the hearing till the reading of this ordinance.
And Misty, I believe you also mentioned there's a date change on this?
Yes, that's in chapter 155.003 to the zoning districts and maps. We're removing the date that the map was approved. So it'll just simply read zoning map of the city of Hot Springs, South Dakota, and certified by the zoning administrator. It won't say dated 2025. And we're not going to change the name of the zoning administrator because this title, because.
All right, so in 154,
But there was other changes that were recommended. Like
Don Olstead is with us tonight to answer any questions you folks may have.
Shown there on.
One of the changes to this was to address the second access to developed areas. Don, is there anything that you could highlight on this one? I think you were part of the language change on this one. And this particular request originally came about, I believe, last year because of Bill's concerns about
Exits.
Yeah, it actually, in the 2020 pre-disaster mitigation plan, one of the items identified was the need for inappropriate subdivisions, a second egress, so that if warranted, you didn't have a whole bunch of people with one way in and one way out, and for that to be addressed in our zoning ordinance. And so
what we did is we, excuse me, got to identifying that number. Like, number and distance are critical in this, and it comes down to dead ends. And the distance to a dead end, which results in a hammerhead turnaround or cul-de-sac. And we require that in the current ordinance, but we didn't really define secondary exits. And so we chose upon the 20 number on a dead-end lane, and there are limits to the length of that lane, and along the length of the lane, there are additional turnarounds required at different intervals. But the access point itself, if you can envision just a T coming in, you're accessing onto an exit at one spot. So if we allow 20 in there, you have just a 20. But the ordinance reads to allow 40, but that doesn't mean you can go in and have a dead-end area with 40. You come in and split at the intersection to have 20 and 20, or you could have 15 and any combination, but it would have to be limited to 40. And the distance and the turnarounds and all that are in that criteria to define this. Now, there is also an exception in there built into the ordinance that if there is a circumstance, heavy timber, terrain or something, we do reserve the authority to go less than this too.
yeah, and we didn't do this in a vacuum. We did work with Black Hills Council of Local Governments to get some sample language, and the language we ended up with we utilized the examples they gave us. And so,
Yeah, just as a little history, we've got some, if we'd have had this in place, and of course, if we'd have followed a lot of things on the golf course development, we've got a dead end in there that's pretty egregious and a ways in there that has a hammerhead turnaround, but it has one way in and out. And if you go back far enough, guys, the part that goes down Bison Pass, it's below the Seven Sisters Living Center.
Pine Hills.
Pine Hills, excuse me. Wrong place. But when we first started that, there was a road coming off the end of the point on the southeast end of the facility that came down to the 16th green. And when they decided to put the facility in, just did away with the road. If we'd had this in place and had a review process in place that we have currently, that would have never happened. Anyway, just history. Any specific questions? Anything else?
Anyone else?
Jacqueline, did you have a recommended change?
Yeah, you have the whole language pulled up.
I won't be able to type your change, but I'll capture it.
Well, it's exactly from the minutes. So we just had one change to 155.003. For the language, because we decided to remove the specific date and year, we changed the language to reflect it stating the most current map. So the recommended language should read, the location and boundaries of the zoning districts established by this chapter are denoted and defined as shown in the most current zoning map entitled City of Hot Springs Zoning Map, as certified by the zoning administrator, period.
I think that makes a lot of sense, because I know what we've been trying to do is pull anything numerically or value or date related out of the ordinances so that we don't have to change the ordinance every time a date or a fee or a value changes. So I think that's a good upgrade.
Anyone else? So while we're talking about 155, Jacqueline, can you speak a little bit to the changes to the temporary signs? You worked real closely with some of the business owners and historic preservation to update this language a little bit.
As our ordinance currently reads, it states that temporary signs have to meet a certain size requirement. They have to be approved, to have to obtain a sign permit marked as temporary through the building inspector. And so I'm sure everyone noticed throughout the last couple of years all the flappy banner flags that have been throughout the town and specifically the historic district. So back in December when the road reconstruction was wrapping up, it was brought up that those banner flags need to start coming down. Our code enforcement officials sent out letters to all of the business owners that were identified as having a banner style flag, requesting that they remove that flag and that that they had 30 days to do so, or else they would be assessed a fee to have the sign removed. And each sign removal, so the removal is $50 per sign. So there's some businesses, they have two. So we sent those letters out, and the feedback we got was really negative from a lot of business owners. They were upset that they were losing these devices and methods to attract businesses, and some of the business owners did comply for 2, 3, 4 weeks, and then they realized that some of their neighbors still had their flags up, so they put theirs back up, and so they were trying to comply with the letters. And those business owners, multiple business owners, identified that they had seen a significant drop in their revenue. So, we heard the business owners, and we developed some changes in the ordinances, and then a color scheme and styles that are appropriate for the historic district. They're tasteful, so there won't be any massive red banner flags or neon green or pink or anything like that. We've gone with 2 colors that are part of our wayfinding sign colors, so the deeper blue and the tan. And we've also gone with the sandstone and a rosy brown, so like I said, very tasteful. The font and color of the lettering will stay the same. However, we want business owners to personalize it. So, it's coffee, beer, boutique, whatever they want it to say. So that way they can still have those attention tracking devices, but like I said, especially through the historic district, it'll be a little more tasteful and blend, but still draw people in. So the sizes and styles have to be from the pre-approved options, like it says in the ordinance, and then the size requirements too. That's so the business owners can have certain signs out without having to obtain permission. If they want a smaller attention tracking device to use for a day or 2 or however long every day that they're open, really, they shouldn't, in my opinion, need to come and obtain a temporary sign permit to do that. One business owner equated it to having to raise their hand to go to the bathroom. So, they're trying to earn a living and contribute to this community, and so I think that the restrictions should be lessened. However, other changes. It says all other freestanding portable signs and attention tracking devices still need to be pre-approved through the zoning administrator. So, giant noodle man or big wavy flag signs that are extremely large will still need to be approved. But I think this is a positive change, and we have a pretty good method to get business owners to purchase these as well. It should be pretty foolproof, I hope. So, yeah, that's all I have.
Who is the zoning administrator?
That is our building inspector / code enforcement official. Zoning administrator is part of his job description, so we have been leaving it saying zoning administrator.
Is that Wesley?
Yes.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Anyone in the public? All right. Go ahead and close the public hearing at 7:44. And that will bring us then to our ordinance changes, where we'll actually vote on this. So next on the agenda then is our ordinances. Going to get a motion to approve the ordinance item A, first reading of ordinance 1268.
Make a motion to approve the first reading of ordinance 1268, an ordinance revising Title 15, Land Usage, Chapter 154, Subdivisions, 154.02, Definitions, 154.03, Outline of Procedure, 154.04, Design Standards, and 154.05, Required Improvements.
Second.
Discussion? Misty, would you call the roll, please?
Larry Pratt,
Yes.
Linda Varvel,
Yes.
Hal Glanville,
Yes.
J.R. Huddleston.
Yes.
Deborah Johnston.
Yes.
Bill Lukens.
Yes.
Gary Telkamp.
Yes.
Thank you.
The motion passes. Can I get a motion to approve ordinance item B, a first reading of ordinance 1269?
Make a motion to approve the first reading of ordinance 1269, an ordinance revising Title 15 Land Usage, Chapter 155 Zoning Code, 155.002, Definitions, 155.003, Zoning Districts and Map, and 155.051, Signs, Billboards, and Other Advertising Structures.
Second.
Linda? Discussion? Misty, would you call the roll, please?
Linda Varvel,
Yes.
Gary Telkamp,
Yes.
Larry Pratt,
Yes.
J.R. Huddleston.
Yes.
Bill Lukens.
Yes.
Hal Glanville.
Yes.
Deborah Johnston.
Yes.
Thank you.
The motion passes. I'd like to thank everyone for working on these two. They're pretty big ordinances, and there's quite a bit of changes to them. So, Don, thank you for making your time available to answer any questions tonight.
Thank you, Don.
Misty, Jacqueline, Deborah, P&Z, everyone that's worked on these, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Don.
All right, so we'll continue with new business item D. Can I get a motion to approve the facility use agreement between the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the Southern Hills Golf Course?
I make a motion to approve the facility use agreement between the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the Southern Hills Golf Course to host the 2027 Girls State A Golf Tournament June 7th through 8th, 2027.
Second.
Gary.
Discussion?
Are we all going to remember we did this in 2027? I'll try to help you remember.
2 years from now.
We're getting prepared for it.
Yes, we are.
Put it on the calendar.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion passes. Going to get a motion on new business item E, approve and authorize the mayor to sign the memorandum of understanding.
Make a motion to approve and authorize the mayor to sign the memorandum of understanding between Dakota State University and the city of Hot Springs to jointly participate in the protection and enhancement of the city's cybersecurity posture by leveraging the secure SD resources.
Second.
Discussion? So what I highlighted out of this is an agreement between Dakota State University and the City of Hot Springs to enhance the cybersecurity posture of South Dakota's counties and municipalities through the Secure South Dakota program. Secure SD is designed to support counties and municipalities by providing technical mitigation assistance to reduce cybersecurity risks, delivering training and awareness programs for municipal and county staff, and enhancing cybersecurity resilience through the implementation of best practices and security tools through a secure email system. Unfortunately, we live in a society where this is necessary. We had an audit done, was it last fall?
Are you talking about our penetration testing?
Yeah.
Yeah, this has been a multi-year already partnership with DSU as we engaged in some penetration testing, did some on-site and off-site testing and training, and now are continuing down the road with them to strengthen and bolster our systems.
And am I remembering correctly that the penetration testing went well?
It went well.
Anyone else? Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion passes. Can I get a motion to approve new business item F? Approve the requested tax abatement as submitted by the County of Fall River Auditor.
I make a motion to approve the requested tax abatement as submitted by the County of Fall River Auditor Richard A. Britton parcel number 72100-00300-012-00, abate the amount of $589.92 due to a late application to the tax reduction program.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Can I get a motion for new business item G? Set a public hearing on Monday, June 16th at 7:15 PM.
I make a motion to set public hearing on Monday, June 16th at 7:15 PM for the special sale alcoholic beverage license application from the Hot Springs Elks Club for the Arts and Crafts Festival event to be held on June 27th and 28th, 2025 at Centennial Park, 275 North Garden Street.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Can I get a motion for new business item H? Acknowledge notification of raffle from the Hot Springs Ministerial Association.
I make a motion to acknowledge notification, to approve notification of raffle from Hot Springs Ministerial Association, who is planning a 50-50 raffle during the upcoming Arts and Crafts Festival, June 27th through the 29th. One winner will receive half the proceeds from the tickets sold, and the drawing will be held on June 30th at 9 a.m. Proceeds will support the capital campaign for the Hot Springs Ministerial Association and their long-term plans for food pantry space.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion passes. Can I get a motion to approve new business item I, a plat of JG Tracks 1 through 4, Block 8, Eaton Edition?
Make a motion to approve a plat of JG Tracks 1 through 4, Block 8, Eaton Edition to the town, now city of Hot Springs, Fall River County, South Dakota, formerly lots 9 through 16.
Second.
JR. Discussion? Well, we have Don, Deborah, and Jacqueline here. P&Z fine with this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Any other questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. And can I get a motion for our last new business item J, reappoint Jane Farrell to the library board?
I make a motion to reappoint Jane Farrell to the library board for a 3-year term, 2025 to 2028.
Second.
Discussion?
Can't move to get that done fast enough. She's just been around since the beginning. We're really lucky to have her on our library board. Glad that she's still willing to serve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. On to our committee reports. Our first committee report, Administrative and Finance. JR?
Admin Finance will meet next Monday, June 9th, here at the Mueller Center at 1 p.m. All are welcome to attend.
Thank you. Airport Advisory, Gary?
The Airport Advisory Committee will meet this coming Thursday, June 5th, 2025 at 8:30 a.m. at the airport.
Thank you. Custer Fall River Regional Waste Management, Travis isn't here. Historic Preservation, Deborah?
Historic Preservation will meet this Wednesday,
The 4th.
the 4th, thank you, 5 p.m. here at the Mueller Center.
Thank you. Evans Plunge Advisory, Linda?
The Evans Plunge Advisory will meet June 12th at noon at the Evans Plunge.
Thank you. Parks, Recreation, Beautification, Larry, Linda?
We won't be having a meeting this Wednesday, the 4th. The next meeting will be July 2nd, 2 p.m. here at the Mueller Center. Everyone is invited.
Thank you. Planning and Zoning, Deborah?
Planning and zoning met May 21st, 6 PM at City Hall. Present were Don Olsted, Christine Heidebrink, James Forboard, Wayne Higeman. Staff present were myself, Wesley Foss, Jacqueline Kelsey, and Bob Nelson. Public present were Jason Getch and John Hatzkevitz. Under public comment, Jason Getch asked that the revision of the ordinance, Chapter 154.02, definitions contain clarification of the definitions of subdivision, as he feels it is somewhat vague as written. And there was a bit of discussion on that.
I didn't change anything.
And then we moved forward with what we did tonight. Public hearing was had on the zoning changes that we just discussed and approved on Chapter 155 and 154, so I won't read all of that. It was approved, and extensive discussion. And then new business, Beverly Johnson and Victor Gerber, separate lots on Albany Avenue, and that's the plat that we all just approved also, into 4 different lots. And the proposed plat revision does meet the minimum lot requirement restriction and applicable setbacks. The location of current city utilities needs to be determined, and the owner will need to provide service lines to each proposed lot per ordinance. John Hatzkevitz, do you want to make a comment on that?
Deb's correct, but I'm back to the JG tracks, the 4 lots that were made out of the 9 or whatever. It hasn't been clarified yet if the city utilities brought into those lots yet.
So this should not have come to us tonight?
The ordinance requires,
Those were not identified, the utilities were not identified.
yeah, and I think, yeah, as far as that there's access to utilities into those additional lots, and there are no encroachments from the existing utilities. There's a house on the property, but they don't cross some of the newly defined lots. So they've got some work to do yet on that. There was never any approval formally of the plat until such items are checked off. You almost get into a developer's agreement on something like this.
So we have a developer agreement for the lots on Garden Street.
Right.
We don't,
On this one. We're at P&Z level, we're not, when this comes to us like this, we've requested the procedure would be to do not to show up with the plat, but show up with a proposed plat and show us what they want to do. We're dealing with this with the Haskevitz vacation of some of 24th Street, I think it is, up between Washington and...
That's what I was going to talk about next.
Yeah. And so there's a procedure we're going to go through as far as identifying those things and what needs to be brought into place. On these lots in particular, is there services and stuff that are going to be into the lots. It's a lot like the one down on Garden Street. We identified the fact that it meets the criteria for size, the setbacks will be available, the access is available, but there is no determination has been made about the utilities.
So does the mayor just withhold signing that plat until
Well,
it's
see,
all
we had-
approved, or do we go back and
We've been down that road, and that's not what we're doing. We're doing developers agreements, right?
yes. And our attorneys have told us that once a plat is approved by council, my signature cannot be withheld. And that was the reason.
When you asked me that and I was sitting there, I'm trying to remember where this thing was. So I went back up there and pulled it up and looked, and that's the deal. What Deborah described is what happened, but we don't have any idea about the utilities to that thing. Because that normally would be part of the process of the developer's agreement. You would get an exhibit that says, here's what you want to do. I want to divide it like this. You kind of get the approval that it meets the minimum lot size, access, but we don't know about the utilities up there. So we sure don't want the utility from the existing house crossing one of the new lots, or have lots that we can't get services to.
And do they have to put the curb stops into those other 3 lots?
Yes. That's a determination we made when we developed these additional lots off of a plat. I mean, this has got a bunch of different lots in it, but yeah, there would need to put the utilities in.
Or the owners have to?
Yeah. So I don't know where we want to go here, Bob. Sorry I didn't say something sooner, but I wasn't sure.
We can reconsider an action, can't we?
Thumbs up over there, huh?
To delay or postpone.
It's
I
on the
wouldn't
right
table, I would
process,
postpone.
guys. It's just that there's more process to go through. It's just
So this is jumping the gun a step or two right now.
developer's agreement or, yeah. And I don't know, apparently they were gonna meet with the administrator and talk about this stuff, and I don't know if they've ever showed up, but as far as I know, Wesley didn't indicate that they had.
He had indicated that it was ready.
Not true.
Yeah, we can reconsider, withhold, postpone.
All right,
Thank you.
we'll be a little more.
So after I'm done with this report, we should go back and do a reconsider tonight?
That's what they're here for.
You can table it.
Do you want to table it?
Later, or just follow the best action at this point. If you want a motion to table it.
Should I make that motion right now?
We typically use postpone as opposed to table because we follow Robert's rules, and table requires more than 2/3 of a vote of the council to bring it back off the table. Postpone allows you an opportunity to just visit about it after you've gathered more information, without a vote of the council to bring it back off the table.
Either postpone.
So yes, Deborah, why don't you go ahead and finish your report, and then we'll come back and address what the necessary next step in language needs to be.
Okay. So, back with number 2, John Haskevitz petition to vacate right-of-way. John Haskevitz was in attendance with a proposed exhibit to present a request to vacate an unused right-of-way running through his property. It was determined that a city water line is currently in this area. It needs to be located and flagged by the city and platted with an access easement. He was advised to continue with the formal process of vacating the right-of-way with information provided by City Hall and assistance from Wes. Number 3, review planning and lot boundaries for Moccasin Springs LLC and Minnetonka Vale Investments LLC. Wes provided an update that this project is moving forward through the appropriate channels. Number 4, Wally Cotro, Lot 3R and Lot 25R. A plat review, lot line revision request for Lot 3R and Lot 25R owned by Wally Cotro was presented along with a survey from Anderson Engineering. The lot line revision would solve the encroachment by a structure from Lot 3R onto Lot 25R. The owner needs to verify that he has utilities to each lot. The meeting was adjourned at 8:02, and the next meeting is June 18th, 6 PM at City Hall.
Any questions for Deborah? Thank you, Deborah.
Yep.
All right, so it sounds like we need to go back to new business item I, and I've never been involved in this language or what we need to do here.
Can I give it a shot?
So if Misty or our attorneys can give us some advice about the language that we need here.
I would say in the motion that after the Planning and Zoning Committee report, it was determined that council needs additional information regarding utilities, and we will postpone the approval of plat of JG, all the rest of what that says.
What she said.
I make a motion for what she said. Any second?
I'll second that motion.
Discussion.
No.
Is that okay? Does that sound good?
Yes.
Okay. Whatever she said, that's what I'll put in the notes.
Just remember what you said.
I'm trying. And that was seconded by JR. Thank you.
Yes.
How did we miss that, Don? I mean, I can't understand how we missed that utilities was not a,
I'd have to go back and look at the minutes. We had so much stuff going on during that deal that we identified that it met everything as far as the subdivision of those properties, but we do need to find out about the utilities. And we've encouraged Anderson and people to not do the plats, because these things cost money.
yeah.
Until they get an exhibit that says this is what they want to do, and then the city can inform them. Sometimes they come to P&Z and we tell them they got to go through X, Y, and Z, but then they wouldn't be so far along in this thing.
This should have come to us as a proposed approval of plat, JG.
Yeah, I want to divide this property, and here's what I kind of want to do, and how does that fit? And then the city can say, well, it's a minimum size, we did that. It's not normally in our review deal, but we've been dealing with this more and more as we go along. And the utilities are going to be the big thing, and I got a real reservation that there's even any sewer a part of this. That's just the personal knowledge that I have.
All right, well, thanks, Don.
We don't do that until the city guys figure out where their stuff is. And the Haskevitz property, they identified that, and then some discussion about how big of a right-of-way the city may need through there in the future to work.
Right.
And I think that was somewhat modified to maybe 20 feet from 15 or something, because that's a major water line coming through there. If they need to get in there and work, we don't need the property owner having put a bunch of stuff on it or close to it. So, it was like an oops. So, okay.
Not like we haven't had those before. Thank you.
Thank you.
So as we work through this process then, if utilities are necessary, it would be a similar situation to what we asked council to do for the Garden Street property, is that there would be a developer's agreement identifying what the developer needed to do to meet all the city ordinances. They would sign it, and then that would be put in front of you first to agree to that agreement. And then if you agree to it, then the plat would follow that. But it's understanding that the plat would come second in your approval, that all of the developer requirements would be met first.
Thanks, Don.
All right, any other questions? All in favor to the motion that Misty stated?
Oh, hi.
And seconded?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes.
What was that motion again?
Hush.
All right. Safety Committee. Bill, JR?
Safety Committee will meet this Thursday, June 5th, 1 p.m. at the Mueller Center Conference Room.
Thank you. Public Works. Bill, Hal?
Okay. Public Works met Tuesday, May 27th, 1 p.m. at the Mueller Center Conference Room. Present were council members Hal Glanville, myself, Deborah Johnston, Mayor Nelson, City Administrator Jacqueline Kelsey, Public Works Engineer Tracy Bastian, Code Enforcement Officer Wesley Foss, AE2S Engineer Jim Jones, members of the public, John Kraft. Regarding communications from the public, a member of the public brought a concern via Council Member Johnston that a commercial business is being run out of the old Armory property. This is being investigated by the city administrator and other city departments. Old business, Valley View Drainage. The Public Works engineer is continuing to work on the design for drainage. Under new business, Glenn Engstrom, who has property out in Boulder Falls. No sewer service was provided to his lot, which is GC 73 there in Boulder Falls subdivision. No sewer service was provided by the developer. However, at the time, the city did accept the development, including the utilities. The owner has requested the city provide sewer service to lot GC 73 so that the owner can commence building on the home site. A similar request was brought before the committee and council for another lot in Boulder Falls that was not provided with sewer service. Providing the service to the property line will require approximately 50 feet of line and cutting through and patching Oriole Drive. All members of the committee, with the exception of Councilman Glanville, support the city installing the sewer main connection at the city's expense. Item 2, the committee reviewed a request by the owner of the historic log cabins to adjust the sewer bill because of a water leak in which the leaking water did not enter and was therefore not processed by the wastewater plant. As this request meets the conditions of Title 5, Chapter 52.11 B2, the committee recommends an adjustment to the bill be made per Chapter 52.11 B3 of the ordinance. Item 3, KLJ provided the KLJ update on the historic staircase design work and grant application. The grant application work prepared by the city administrator and KLJ was reviewed. The committee recommends proceeding as funds are available based on a priority of the Episcopal Church stairs first, Fire Station stairs second, Pioneer Museum stairs third. Item 4, suspended sidewalk tower flag attachments. Streets and Maintenance Department is working on a solution and will present that solution to the committee at a later date. Item 5, the committee reviewed a letter from Black Hills Council of Local Governments regarding the FEMA grant for the Hot Brook and wastewater treatment facility generators. There were no comments and the city administrator will submit that letter. Item 6, Streets and Maintenance Department workload priority discussion. The city administrator discussed the extensive workload of the streets and maintenance staff and the need for patience for projects of personal interest. Projects are being prioritized based on urgency, staff availability, and funding. And I'll not provide any editorial comments on there. There's a lot of stuff out there. We realize that, but there's not a lot of folks to get it done, and the folks are working hard at a very long list of items. Item 7, Evans Pumping Station flow test report results. And there's a typo on the minutes. It says AE3S. I guess I gave them an upgrade. AE2S has issued a draft report. The flow test was successful and indicates the well can handle 2,500 gallons a minute. The current pumps at the Evans Pump Station are each 1,500 gallons a minute, and it is recommended as they come due for replacement, they should be replaced with 2,500 gallon a minute pumps. We then discussed membership in Western Dakota Regional Water System. Jim Jones with AE2S, who is also a part of Western Dakota Regional Water Systems, does recommend that Hot Springs become a member at this time in order to be a part of the initial membership and allocation. This will ensure water availability in decades to come if the project is built, and it will be at least 20 years before the potential project brings water to the region. Membership now does not commit the city forever. It can be canceled at any time. At this time, the highest level of membership is a full voting member at $1,500 per year. An associate membership is available at $375 per year, which doesn't enable board membership or voting, but does ensure water allocation. Item 8, dead animal removal. We discussed responsibility to pick up and dispose of dead animals from private property. This item is still under discussion. Item 9, Black Hills Energy Wildfire Plan. Public Works Contingency Planning. The committee discussed potential city preparation and citizen communication efforts that could work in conjunction with the Black Hills Energy Wildfire Protection Plan. We had no updates from any of the departments, and the active and inactive project information has been updated and can be found on the Public Works report on the city website. We adjourned at 3:24 p.m. and our next meeting is a change of day of the week. We'll meet on Monday, June 23rd, 1 p.m. at the Mueller Center Conference Room. Questions?
Yeah, Bill, in relation to the armory, you remember a while back after we had done that whole thing, I told you there were some people that approached me and asked me the same question at that time, and I came and asked you that question. Just for grins and giggles, what is that area zoned for? Commercial or residential?
I believe it's residential.
I'd have to look. I think it's residential, but I don't know for sure.
Okay.
It was part of the agreement when we sold it that it would be utilized for residential use, not commercial.
Exactly, and that's why I came to you at the time, because it was, looked like that kind of activity was going on. It's what's being described right now again.
It's being investigated.
Thank you, sir.
Anyone else? Al, do you have anything you want to add? Nope. Thank you, gentlemen. Southern Hills Golf Course Advisory Committee will meet June 9th, 6 p.m. at the clubhouse. City Administrator, Jacqueline, do you have anything you want to share?
I have a couple of things, if you have a minute.
Sure.
Okay, so to start, I want to say thank you to the chamber. If you notice the banners along North River Street that are on the light poles, those were funded by the chamber, and Josh, before he left, we worked together to do the Soak in Hot Springs and the City of Hot Springs banners. So they basically funded it, and then our city employees put them up, and I think it's a great addition to the downtown. I think it looks great. So yeah, thank you to the chamber. Just to touch on Valley View drainage, the city employees are going to be doing work up there soon. It's not it's not the long-term fix, but the short-term fix to help manage some of that, some of those drainage issues. So that is being bumped up in the priority list. A wayfinding update. I reached out to Jesse Nelson with the state again today. I submitted the application a couple weeks ago for the wayfinding sign program. He got back to me this evening and let me know that that application should be hopefully approved soon. It's currently being reviewed, so after that we'll be getting the final numbers from Pheasant Land, and hopefully we can move along on that project. The historic staircases, after the Public Works meeting last week, I'm going to go ahead and move forward with Black Hills Council of Local Governments to submit for the, I can't remember what the grant is, but it's the application deadline is in July, so we're going to go ahead and move forward with that. And then also an update on the FEMA grant for the generators. The floodplain administrator letter was submitted last Friday, and also the FEMA Go application was submitted as well. I worked with Kaylee from Black Hills Council of Local Governments, and she was a huge help in helping us move that along, so we didn't miss the deadline. The longstanding event holder application, so tonight, the resolution was approved. So there's going to be an application that goes along with that, I can't think of the word I'm trying to use right now. Anyway, they'll be able to fill it out and bring it down to City Hall, and hopefully that'll help streamline those processes, and we'll be able to help these organizations. And we're going to start working on the irrigation system in Centennial Park. Our city engineer has ordered everything for it, so that should also be happening soon. Free Dump Week, just as a reminder, is the 9th through the 12th. We are currently looking for volunteers. We've put out notices to the public on our city website, on Facebook, and we also put an ad in the paper. So if anyone is willing to volunteer, please contact City Hall or our building inspector, Wesley Foss. Or if you know anyone who needs help cleaning up their property, as long as the items that they're looking to clean up fit what we're allowing to go out to the dump for Free Dump Week. So also contact City Hall for that if you know anyone who needs help. And then just a reminder, June 5th, which is Thursday, is 605 Day. So just as a happy note for being a South Dakotan. That's all I have.
Any questions for Jacqueline? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Finance Officer report, Misty?
The monthly financials for May will be available at the second meeting in June. Had I prepared the reports, they wouldn't have included the entire month, and I was out the last couple days last week at the SDML board meeting, so I decided to wait to present those reports to you until the second meeting in June. And my only other big reminder is that it is election day tomorrow. So if you live in Ward 1 or in the Hot Springs School District, please come between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. to have your vote heard for the candidates on the ballots. And we'll welcome you there. So please come and vote tomorrow.
Mayor's report. First, I'd like to read a thank you letter that I got at City Hall regarding going the extra mile, to whom it may concern. One of your employees recognized an immediate need. Somehow he cut through all the red tape and took me up Vets Home Hill on his break. Thank you for this employee. Sincerely, John Kraft, Vietnam veteran. That employee is Wesley Foss. John was walking down Main Street, and I happened to notice that Wesley's door was open and stopped in and chatted with him for about 45 minutes. And mentioned that he was heading back up to the state home, and Wesley said, well, can I give you a ride? So John wanted to publicly thank him, and I'd like to publicly thank Wesley for going the extra mile. So thank you, Wesley. My other two items, Misty and Jacqueline kind of stole them already, but I'll go through them again anyway. As Misty mentioned, the election tomorrow. Ward 1 will need to have council appoint somebody.
No.
Ward 2.
Ward 2. Not Ward 1. We have an
I'll
election.
correct my own notes here, Ward 2. And I'm asking anyone that is interested in filling that vacancy in Ward 2 to please submit your letter of interest by Monday, June 30th at 4 p.m. to fill a one-year term. So please get those letters to us. And then, as Jacqueline said, thank you to the city crews and Chamber of Commerce for putting up the new banners on our new streetlights. They look great. So Main Street is coming together. Once Jacqueline is able to work with the state and Fezland Industries to get some signs, wayfinding signs, then everything will look great there. That's all I have for you tonight. Any questions for me? All right, we need a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Well, there was a lot of motions at the same time and adjourn at the same time.
I got Deborah
I heard
and then
Linda,
Hal.
or Deborah and Hal.
I beat him this time by a nanosecond.
Discussion?
Oh, I'm so happy about this.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Later.
The motion passes. Have a good evening, everyone.
All right.